Hello, all the Jack fans here. Rudnick took over because you know why? What did I just buy?
You got yourself a SUR.
Jack convinced me, man. I had to get one. I saw how much fun Jack was having, and I personally want to go to the skate park and stuff with this thing. I'm gonna do a true durability test.
I'm gonna be there for it.
And if it breaks, I'm coming straight to you.
No warranty.
No warranty, but I'm gonna need help fixing it.
That's not a problem.
Yeah.
As you guys have found out by now, Rudnick's got one, Shaw's got one, I've got one. We're doing stuff to them. I gotta beat all of them to the punch though, so I've already got some upgrades here. If you haven't seen the other videos, we did start upgrading it already. It is we put a couple of upgrades in the brake so far, but we're gonna add more. We did the Shimano H30C pads, which are a direct fit, really nice. We did the Supermoto wheels, got the off-road wheels off, and put a fender on it, as you can see. So just basic little things. I braced this area here with a rod. And that's pretty much it. Top speed with this setup, 51 miles per hour GPS. So I'm pretty happy with that. We got over 50 stock, except for the, wheels, tires. But stock basically, stock power levels, nothing changed there. 51 miles per hour, pretty good. So today's round of upgrades is gonna include the braking, and we're gonna be doing a belt kit. So this is a belt drive. This replaces the chain, which will make the bike a lot quieter. And this weighs nothing. It's all aluminum, very, very light. And it's basically the equivalent of a 42 tooth sprocket. So it's gonna keep the gearing the same with those Supermoto wheels. The other item that we're gonna be upgrading is the front brake disc. So here we have a Hope 225 millimeter rotor. You can see right there. So this is gonna significantly change the leverage that the caliper is able to grab at, and should make the brakes a lot more sensitive in the front, which was exactly what it needs and what I want. So let's go ahead and start with that. We'll get that done, and then we'll tackle the belt kit. All right, so we have the wheel off of here. We've got the bike up on a jack, and you can see here, I'll do a comparison. Here is the stock rotor and the Hope next to it. So you can see pretty considerable difference in size. I'll put it right over it. You can see how it reaches out pretty far on the edges, and that's going to overall change the leverage that the brake is able to grab at, and that will make a lot more force with less effort. So taking this off is pretty simple. I'm going to use the impact to get it off. These do have a little bit of Loctite on them, but they come out pretty easily, and the Loctite that's on them is blue, so it's not a permanent Loctite, and it will be able to be put back on pretty easily. The new rotor is here, you can see, nice size difference. So we'll go ahead and just bolt that on in the same location. Now we're going to go ahead and put this back in, but first, before I do that, the caliper, because it sits closer to the axis of the wheel, we've got to move it out. So what I have is some spacers that we're going to put in place right here in between the caliper and the caliper bracket to move the caliper out. So right here we've got a little bag of goodies. We've got some spacers in there and a couple of longer screws to match up with that. So here you can see we've got the spacers in place now. That's going to space out the caliper enough, hopefully, to get that rotor to fit in there. Okay, so we've got the brake rotor mounted, and everything's good. I took it out for a little spin. We're going to bed this brake in now and make sure that it's 100%. Okay, so now we are back on this bike. We're going to go ahead and take the chain off. We're going to do the upgrade for the belt. Here's the instructions. Pretty straightforward. Should take us about an hour or so. but you're gonna see it all really quick. So first things first, we're gonna drop the peg brackets, the kickstand bracket. We're gonna go to the belt, the factory primary belt. We're gonna take that off, undo the shaft in the middle here. That will drop out the jack shaft or center shaft, whatever you want to call it, primary. Then we'll go through the process. All right, so we've got the back off. What do you think?
I think it looks pretty good. It's going to be a silent monster in a second.
I hope so. We'll see. Got the back wheel off. Now I'm going to pull this shaft and get this out. Okay, so now we've got the center shaft off. We've replaced the pulley that was on this side with this, or the sprocket, I should say, that was on this side with this belt sprocket for the belt drive. And we put the belt drive sprocket on the back as well. So now the worst part of this whole thing is cutting this pedal kit on the swing or this pedal brace on the swing arm. They do ask you to cut like a 1/2 inch out of there. I've got it marked off. I'm going to cut that. And they also give you this little piece of metal to bolt across there just to kind of fix it up, I guess is the best way to put it afterwards. Okay, so we've got the hole cut there, you can see, and we're gonna go ahead now and slip the belt in there, get both belts in, and then we'll put everything back together. All right, so we put the shaft back up in place, got the belts on. Now we're gonna tighten the motor belt, and then we'll put everything back together. We're almost done. And just like that, we are finished. And you can see, it actually looks really slick. I like the way it looks, at least. So there's an app online that you can download to tighten this belt to get the correct tension. And other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Now we're gonna take it out and just take it for a little ride. I expect extreme quietness. Let's find out. Okay. So let's see just how quiet we really are. Oh yeah. All I hear is, I hear the brake disc. Ultra quiet. I can't, it's hard to convey how quiet this is. Literally all you can hear is a little bit of motor noise. Very quiet. Wait for this car to go by. All right, so you can see it is damn near silent at this point. Very impressive. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and see if I can align that brake rotor just a tiny bit, because I can actually hear it going tss, tss, tss. It's the only thing you hear. Very quiet, very cool. All right.
success.